Oh. Sorry.
Howdy. It's your boy Mizu. I'm back again with Aria.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
And we are so lucky today because we've got another guest.
Yes, so we're super excited. We have Peter Lonnquist with us.
He's another local artist. Hopefully someone who we can give a little shine to.
Yeah, definitely. And so, how have you been?
I've been doing great, yeah. Mostly just music, doing work, day-to-day stuff. How about you guys?
Oh, pretty good. I work at an adult shop, so it was Valentine's Day, which is kind of like a Christmas. So it was very busy, but nice. It was cool to see how busy we got on Thursday and Friday. And
I was curious about how Bondes holiday season goes, especially their classes.
Well, okay, so we didn't actually have any classes that went on during that week. We just had, just a Sunday one, and that was it. And so the main thing that's funny is, it was just got so busy, especially because it was the same weekend as Leather Weekend in Minneapolis. So we had a bunch of people come in and, get it, because Leather and Latte, which is used to be another store in Uptown, closed. So now we're getting, a lot of people that used to shop there kind of coming to us now. So it's kind of cool to see how our customer base is growing.
Is it surprising I'm disappointed I forgot it was Leather Weekend? It's I don't pay attention to those things. I'm not really involved with the community like I should be.
I don't know.
What are some other holidays? I'm guessing Halloween, there's probably costumes and stuff.
Oh, and and we had a big party too, as well. We went to it.
Yeah, we went to that Halloween, was it Underworld Fantasy?
Underground
Fantasy.
Well, it's kind of dystopian themed.
Whatever, I just wore my kilt.
Yeah. I wear a Betty Page costume, so it was... I had boots and stuff. I don't know, our next big party is Rubber Ball, so I'm excited to see what's going to happen for this one. That's all latex clothing.
Yes, I will not be going to that one. I'm just not comfortable with latex or PVC or PV, whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Just too constricted.
I don't know. I've got some fat kid issues. It's I'm not fat like I was in high school, but yeah, I've lost weight and I feel good, but I'm not that comfortable.
I don't know.
I'm not there.
I have to get fitted for mine because latex, we get our stuff from Europe, so all the sizing is pretty small, and so I have to get specially measured, so then that way I'm gonna get a dress, so I'm excited. But yeah, do you have anything big coming up in the next couple months?
Oh man, let's see. Well, I'm working on music for Pokemon podcast, so hopefully wrapping up that album within a few months.
That'd
be good. Yeah, so that's kind of cool, getting to try thematic stuff. So I don't know, it's kind of a taste of getting to do film scoring too.
Nice.
Yeah.
And do you guys as part of the album, are you guys having a is it a full-on album you can download, or is it something that you can listen to on a specific platform at all, or?
Yeah, so it's at this point I'm pretty much putting stuff on Bandcamp and SoundCloud, but probably Spotify eventually too. And yeah, so I'm not sure how I'll put it for if you can just have unlimited free plays or so many before you have to buy it or things like that. But yeah, I'll have it up for sale too. So
yeah, and if you guys are interested, we'll be putting the links of the various platforms that Peter Lonnquist posts his music on for you guys to listen to.
Yeah, because last week we had Jim. And he has so much work.
Yeah.
That man's a psycho machine. I wish I had output like he does. I could only dream about that.
But that is really cool though with the Pokemon music. So it's thematic. So are you doing it based off of specific themes in the series, or are you doing it in a different style?
So it's it's kind of like a D&D tabletop type thing, and so then they but it's all Pokemon themed, and so but they have their own world that they made up, or region of the Pokemon world.
That's super cool.
And so Like, yeah, they have different, like, locations or people or different things that they want themes for, like, just ideas, too.
That's so cool, and I'm so surprised I haven't heard of that one.
I haven't heard of it either, so I'm, like, excited to listen to it, because I always like original character stuff within fandoms. I'm a huge fan of that, where they just take a setup and, like, the laws of a world, and then just roll with it and like make their own canon. It's always so cool when I find things like that.
Yeah, and that's kind of dope because I used to be a heavy tabletop player, and I enjoy when people do stuff set in another world. Like
when I did LARPing,
it takes a lot.
Yeah, when I did LARPing, we did it based off of Harry Potter verse, so that was really fun.
Oh, my ex-fiance was a LARPer. She did the werewolf LARP.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I've never done LARPing, but it looks fun.
Well, I mean, I'm a theater student, so like what me and my friends absolutely loved about LARPing, you know, a bunch of theater kids, where it's like we didn't like follow like it strictly by like certain rules because we kind of like improv some of it with how the setup was. But it was just kind of fun because like we would have a conversation in public and people wouldn't realize that they're in our scene, but they're the background characters.
Oh,
that's
wow.
cool. Yeah,
that's not as weird as I'm gonna say weird. I shouldn't say weird because I've dated 3 LARPers. 2 of them hit it, not thinking I would be cool with it. Like, oh, I'm totally cool with you LARPing because I'm playing either D&D or Dresden Files or Pathfinder in someone's basement. So I'm not gonna judge you for LARPing.
Do you do D&D at all, or any of the tabletop stuff?
I haven't done D&D much. I have a big family, and my older brothers would do it, and they'd just be like, "Go away." So I didn't do it growing up, and then in college I tried it a little bit, but I just didn't have the attention span for it to just sit there and work at it. It was fun, but I just I was too distracted. I had to go do other stuff.
Yeah, no, I recently, I did LARPing a little bit in my early 20s, but now I'm kind of getting back into, D&D and Pathfinder.
Yeah, I used to have a bunch of Pathfinder books, and they disappeared along with a bunch of stuff I had, I had a Stratocaster reproduction guitar. It was there's just so much stuff disappeared from my room on 46.
Oh, no.
But it's just stuff in the grand scheme of things. I do miss all my Pathfinder books because Pathfinder and D&D core. That's why I started hustling. Was to get the 2nd edition game guide. It's I started selling my school supplies, undercutting the school store. I was hustler kid in high school. Remember Recess?
Yeah.
That show. Just
very much like that.
What's this Reddit article?
Oh, yeah, so on Reddit, because we like to talk about current events at times.
Yeah.
So this is literally, they have a section subreddit called Not the Onion. And it's ridiculous headlines that you would expect to see on the Onion, but no, it's an actual news story.
Oh, is this that thing about,
So, for, many people don't realize that there's, a pink tax for feminine products.
Yes.
And when it comes to, pads and tampons, especially tampons, it's really expensive. It's no joke how expensive a box of tampons can be.
No, trust me, I've bought them for multiple exes, and it's ridiculous. You go in with $20 and you leave with
just one box. It's ridiculous how expensive it can be. So apparently there was this lawmaker in Huntsville. Let's see. It's the Huntsville Tribune. So I think it's Tennessee or something. One of the southern. Yep, Tennessee. And so he said, well, if we don't tax, he's I think. Let's see what else. Okay, yeah. So Senator Josie Hensley, a Republican, was worried this might lead to out of control tampon buying. I would think that since it's a sales tax holiday, there's really no limit on the number of items anybody can purchase, he said, according to the Associated Press. I don't know how you would limit the number of items someone could purchase. So the reason why they want to keep the tax on is because they think that women would spend and hoard tampons.
That is one of the dumbest things I've heard ever, and especially the dumbest thing I've heard this week.
I can think of a million other things my wife would quickly spend money on if she had extra money.
Oh, dude. No, like, with my current form of birth control, I barely have any menstruation. I've saved at least $150 a month.
Dang.
On feminine care products alone. It's like, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's so expensive. And there are some women that I really reach out for because they just would have like the worst periods. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I dated this one chick in high school. I won't say her name, but she had heavy flows where she would run out and she'd call me and be like, hey, can you stop and pick up some pads? And I was like, sure. She'd send me a picture of what she wanted. I'd do it. And I'd be like, cool, where's my money?
It's expensive.
It's like, well, if you've got no shame, I was like, whatever, you're buying tampons or pads. Grow the fuck up, be a man and do it.
Yeah.
That is
But
very
150, true. That's like a few video games worth of money.
Yeah.
That's not good.
It's not.
I mean, that's
cheap.
a Wii. That was a brand new Wii.
No.
in a game.
Well, no, it was amazing, like, how much I would spend per month once I, like, realized, like, how much I was saving and how much I had more in my wallet. I was like, damn. And when I calculated my budget, I was like, yeah, I put literally, like, $150 a month on it. And I didn't have the best either. That's why I went on this birth control. So it's like, damn.
Yeah.
I can't find a GD screen.
Anyway. But yeah, so... so besides the Pokemon D&D album that's coming up, do you have anything else that's coming up that we should know about? Are you gonna be posting anything soon?
So there's this like app, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, called Loom. That's like it's a growing local music app type thing. It started in Milwaukee, like I guess like 18 months ago or so.
Wisconsin, Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's already like across the country, and I don't know, I think it's just in the US right now.
Okay.
But I've got an account on there, and I've been slowly like posting stuff on there. So not a lot of like extra new stuff, but more just like trying to figure out how to like integrate older things into the conversation going on. Because at this point I have like 10 years worth of random stuff, but like a lot of it's just like super abstract, and so it's like, how do you like put this super abstract like academic music into like an app where people are mostly talking about like trap music?
Yeah.
So like,
yeah,
it's like it's a weird juggling act.
I mean, I say do what Jim's been doing. Just put it all up on Bandcamp, somewhere public where just all your output, no matter how good, bad, polished, people can hear it and judge.
That is really cool though. So you're doing more of a traditional approach then to some of the music.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place because I'm more like into just like composition and philosophy and musical thought as a whole versus just like a genre or something like that, like being in a rock band or being in like a jazz band. And so like everything I make is like kind of scattered all over the place.
Okay, would you say like then like each sort of like album or whatever the amount of music that you make is then sort of like a concept that you're trying to resonate essentially?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, always going for different concepts more.
Oh,
so
nice.
like one album that I made last fall I was like traveling a lot for work, and so it's all music that I made like while on flights on a Nintendo Switch.
That's so cool.
And then like a one before that, like every track was made from different playlists I had in my life, and I tried to go back through my life that way, and it was all like mashed up stuff. And so like every album's like trying to just think of a different thing.
I tried doing a track with Electroplankton, if you know that DS game.
Yeah.
It's like I bought it, a friend conned me into like, hey, buy this game. It's really exclusive, it's really collectible. You can only get it in a Nintendo store on this day in New York. And I fell for the okie doke. And then like years later when I was trying to sell it, it's like, oh yeah, I can get less than retail for it. I'm like, no! This super rare game is nothing. Because apparently Nintendo likes to re-release shit on the eShop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They do that a lot with their old games.
Yeah, and like it's hard, like nowadays too, like everything just says like exclusive on it, and then they just release it on everything like a month later, even though they like try and
well,
like pre-order now to get this, and then you can get it at any time.
I
Like,
fucking hate that shit.
Yeah, it's one of the things I always hated when I worked at GameStop.
oh yeah.
I worked at GameStop for like 2 periods of like 4.5 years. So, you know, roughly 8 years, 9 years. And it's just like, people always complain about with console exclusivities. And I always tell them, like, just be patient. If you don't mind waiting, it'll be on your console in less than a year. Less than 2 years guaranteed. Because Tomb Raider, the new one when it came out on Xbox and PS4, it was a time exclusive for a year. I'm like, and I've been telling people that always, just be cool and relax.
Yeah.
Because by the time the PS4 and the Xbox came out, it was the only real big difference is what platform you prefer.
Yeah.
It's like, graphically, there's not that much of a difference. Performance-wise, there's not much of a difference. Yes, there are differences. And yes, I say fuck Microsoft in the gaming arena.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a Nintendo fanboy turned Sony loyalist.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I grew up with Sony myself. My parents, for the longest time, thought video games would turn me into a killer. Thanks to frickin' Columbine
And Night Trap and Mortal Kombat.
And then, so are you like a Minnesota native, or you out of state?
Yeah, pretty much Minnesota. Like, I lived in
Okay.
Wisconsin until 3rd grade, but otherwise I lived in Minnesota, like, pretty much since then. Like, moved to Nebraska for a year, lived in New York for, like, 2 months. I don't know, but otherwise Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's cool.
How do you feel about New York? As someone who was only there for, like, 2-3 months, how do you feel about it?
I think, like, I don't know, it's super cool because the public transportation, like, you can get anywhere, and so you can just do, like, I feel like I did more in New York in those 2 months or saw more than I have in Minneapolis being here for, like, 3 years, because it's just, you can just get everywhere so easy, but to, like, live there would, like, be really hard.
Yeah, I living there was definitely hard for me. I did not last more than, like, maybe 2 months, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I had fun. There was always something to do. It was never a dull moment. It was like never a dull moment.
I don't know. I wish I had lived in New York City for a brief period of time. I was in New York State for 3 months when I was 13. Fat camp.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, I was overweight. I've been overweight all my life, so my parents were like, well, here's a camp in upstate New York, and you can be in Manhattan for a day, which I did have fun going to Manhattan. Yeah. That was really cool, and I love the Chinese food. That was like the best Chinese food I ever ate, hands down still.
Yeah, the food is so good there, and it's like not even more expensive either, because there's so much competition that it's like they have to be the best food for like $8. And it's like crazy.
No, I remember like a slice of pizza, 2 for $7.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of expensive though.
But if it's super,
super good pizza,
yeah, it was. I mean, there was other places I could have gone and got a slice for $2.50 or $2.
If they're like huge slices.
But they're like 2 huge giant slices, and you're like, oh my god. It's like anywhere else, it's a personal pan pizza.
Okay, I see. I don't know, I'm a huge Luce fanatic, so I love Pizza Luce. It's my favorite pizza place still.
Well, yeah, I ate in the restaurant for the first time this past Valentine's Day.
Yep.
It's good. Yeah.
As a person who lived in Florida around Uptown, I've never eaten in the restaurant. I've ordered Luce a lot.
Oh,
because they have late hours.
Do you have a favorite restaurant?
Oh man, let's see. The first one that comes to mind, I don't know if it's actually my favorite or not, but Taco Libre is super good.
That's a good one.
I like their burritos, those big, juicy, fat
the burritos.
Yeah.
That's why I like Taco Libre. They're bigger than the Chipotle shit too.
Yeah, and then they have like usually like crazy art on the walls and stuff too, so it's good. Or like there's a Thai place too called Aria Thai that's just super tasty, and like the guy makes all his own noodles and stuff like that, and
I have to go try that.
Yeah,
that sounds so good. When I lived in Oregon for a year, And I miss the food out in Oregon because, like, the Asian food out there is probably, the best. And there's this place called DubyApp that it was specialized in Korean food, and they had, like, hand-pulled, handmade noodles. Nice. That, oh my god, it was just so good.
Yeah, I don't know, all the best Asian food I've ever had was on the West Coast. Either Oregon, Cali, even Hawaii has great, like, actual authentic Japanese restaurants.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. They just have access to the fish there.
Well, fish, and you got all the people coming from China and Japan. Because it's not that far of a travel.
And then, so when you're talking about, like, your music as being, like, concepts, what inspires you to write certain ways? Like, your last output, like, what inspired you to write that particular way of writing that song versus what you've done before?
Yeah, so, yeah, it's always, like, yeah, it's a tricky question. I guess, like, it's partly formed by, like, just whatever's going on in my life at the moment. Like, so, like, the traveling one, like, I had to figure out a way to make music while, like, being mobile and stuff like that. And so, like, since I didn't have, like, at my command, like, all these tools or, like, real instruments, like, it turned out being more of, like, just kind of, like, little electronic beats and stuff like that, you know?
Okay.
Versus, like, now, since I'm kind of, like, have my, like, basement to make music in and stuff, and I've been, like, working on piano a lot, it just is, like, I just started writing stuff on piano, and, yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of based on, like, whatever I'm interested in at the time. But then, like, yeah, how the idea comes about is, I don't know, it's, like, weird. Like, I'll write, like, I'll just sit down and, like, improv something and then, like, start building on it and stuff like that, and I'll have, like, 10 to, like, 20 minutes of music that, like, I know I need to edit down, and, like, I can feel something in it, you know, but I'm not sure, like, what I'm trying to, like, talk about or, like, where it's coming from or something. So there's always, like, something, like, inside of me that, like, directs it at first, and then afterwards, like, I have to just figure out, like, what I'm trying to, like, talk about or what I'm thinking about. So, like, one song that I made recently, it's called Goodnight Pikachu for that Pokemon podcast.
Yeah.
And, like, that one, like, I was just, like, I just sat down and, like, started trying to make, like, a little melody off of just, like, Pikachu, like, saying his name, like, Pikachu, like, the notes,
nice.
you know, or, like, the rhythm, you know? But then, like, as I started playing with it, like, I started getting, like, these really melancholy chords and stuff, and, like, the longer I worked on it, I was like, oh, like, this is turning into this, like, nostalgic thing about, like, being a kid and, like, putting that stuff, like, behind you to, like, move ahead onto something else. And so then it became this, like, letting go of something to move forward when it just started off as, like, Pikachu on
That's
piano,
so cool.
you know?
That's funny because way back in high school, when I was trying to do more techno stuff, I made a Pikachu song. And it was literally just Pikachu just on a loop. But this is before dubstep. I think if I had made it during the dubstep period, it would have been a lot better with a bass drop.
But that's really cool though, like, so it's just kind of like you start with one thing and then it just ends up evolving essentially. That's pretty dope.
So,
yeah.
So there's always, it's like exciting, but there's also, like, that inner, like, conflict of, like, what am I, like, doing right now? Like, does this even mean anything? Should I just throw it away, or is there, like, something really important here? Or, like, yeah, and it's weird to have something, like, coming out of you, but you're not sure exactly what it is. But that makes it kind of, like, life too, of just, like,
yeah, definitely, just like how it ends up growing up and taking shape. That's really cool. And then so you play the piano. And do you play, like, anything else? Because you also use computer, you said as well, computer tones and such.
Yeah, so I've been playing, like, violin since 3rd grade, and then, like, have done kind of, like, some basic piano and played guitar since, like, middle school, and in, like, high school for band I did, like, percussion, all that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
That's
so
dope.
Kind of like a mix of different instruments, yeah. And I've sang for stuff a little bit, but, like, my singing voice is super hit or miss. I have no control over it. It's either, like, I'm terrible or I'm, like, really good, and there's, like, never an in-between.
No, I can completely relate to that. I mean, I grew up as a theater kid and everything, and I have a decent singing voice. But, like, as he says, I get pitchy at times. and it's like,
Just pull.
and it's like, I don't want to sound pitchy, but like, depending on the song though, it's like, I sound like I go through puberty.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had stuck with the violin, but like most suburban punk kids, I got rid of my violin to pick up a guitar, and I never got better than 3-chord progression. But I mean, if you're gonna be a suburban kid in a shitty pop punk band, all you need is 3-chord progression.
Yep. Yeah.
You don't need to get better than 3-chord progression.
Yes, that is true. I don't know. I tried picking up the guitar because my dad plays it.
Okay.
I wasn't that good at it.
I mean, I did percussions in high school. I was in jazz band
And I played the
for
clarinet.
a hot second.
I did have a friend though that played the viola,
Yeah.
and in high school, and she also plays the violin too. But she got really into it, and it was really cool to see like how she like loved Bach. She absolutely adores Bach, and like it was kind of cool to see like how nerdy she would get.
Is this the chick you're gonna be the maid of
bridesmaid
honor?
for? Yep. She's getting married.
Yeah. Yeah. Violin is like, I don't know. I'm finally getting back into it a little bit because like since I graduated college, I haven't touched it in like it was like 4 or 5 years until I started doing it again.
Okay.
And so yeah, because it's just such a touchy instrument that like it's easy to just get mad at it.
Yes.
Whereas guitar, like
Yes.
you can be bad and still like sound good and have fun.
Yeah.
But like violin, if you're not doing it right, it's just painful.
It is. It's like it's worse than nails on a chalkboard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad I didn't do violin because I tend to have like rage quit, so I probably would have broken it.
Yeah, you would have did like a lot of metal kids did. I knew some like metal kids and who were doing violin lessons with me, and then they got mad one day in class and just like fuck this shit and threw it at the wall.
I probably
Mhm.
would have.
Yeah.
So, like, since you're from the Minnesota area, are you from like a specific town, like small town? Or are you a suburb kid, city kid?
Small town, way on the west side of the state. It's Dawson, Minnesota. And
I
it's
know that
like-
place.
You do? How?
Yeah.
Why?
I had to when I drove out to Oregon.
Oh yeah.
And I passed through it essentially,
Mhm.
getting out of the state.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a small town, but I thought it was kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Very scenery, very scenic.
I don't know. It reminds me of Appleton. Just thinking of it,
Oh yeah.
it's just like it's one of those small, cute towns that most people just drive through.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. It's like I don't know. I have weird feelings towards it because yeah, I have a lot of older siblings and they're always just like, this place sucks because they all like moved there being older, whereas like I moved whereas like I could miss the past stuff, but I also wasn't like super attached to it either, and so
Okay.
like I grew up like thinking this place sucks, but like it was probably like mostly okay, and like for like a small town too, they were actually like pretty like artsy and like democratic and or like more into that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. But
they had a lot
Yeah.
of pride flags when I went through it, so I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, I'm glad it's not just the...
You don't see that everywhere in small town America.
No, like,
Yeah.
Forest Lake, which is just like a 45-minute drive up, like, even though now that place is got way more diverse than from when I was a kid, because I went to school there for like a year. At the same time, though, it's like, you don't show up with your girlfriend, or if you're same sex, or your boyfriend if you're same sex.
yeah.
You wouldn't wear your skirts up there, in a sense.
Fuck them. I would wear my skirt.
Yeah, you still wear your skirts.
It's like I'm a confident. Like I don't care what people say. I'm confident. I survived getting shot.
That's true.
I was carted around the hospital with my manhood out in the open.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'll wear a skirt pretty much anywhere, especially if I'm with 2 or more women.
Okay, well, so forgetting all of that. So what was like your clique in high school? Were you the kid that was like friends with everybody, or did you have like a set group of friends?
Definitely a kid who's friends with everybody. Like I had like a set group of friends too, but like so like my main group of friends I mean, there's only 42 kids in my graduating class, so you're kind of stuck with everybody to a certain degree.
Wow.
But like,
wow, I had classes where there was just that many students in them.
I know.
Yeah.
I went to a small high school though. I went to a charter school, so my graduating class was 100.
Oh yeah.
But that was the largest class because we only had like been like open for 4 years at that point.
Oh.
Wow. I think my graduating class would have been 1,500 at Wayzata, but I ended up not graduating from Wayzata. I graduated from Washburn. I think the graduating class was like less than 300. But it's like I went to my cousin. My cousin, he just graduated college this past summer, or not college, high school. His high school graduation is like his high school is like a college campus. His graduating class was like 2,000 plus students. I think it was like just under 3,000. It was in the Kansas City Auditorium. Like,
we were in the Fitzgerald Theater.
Like this is where they have basketball games and like it was just massive. Like everything's broadcast on the screen. It was crazy.
I always wonder like what that would be like to grow up in that. Like it'd just be such a completely different experience.
I went to Brooklyn Center High in 7th grade, which was a pretty big school. Which at the time we just reached our 2,000 mark, and they had the outdoor like trailer. They had classrooms and trailer houses essentially.
Whoa.
Wow.
And because it was just so full, and they were like adding on to the school.
I don't know. I think schools like with big classrooms it's too much. Like some kids get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, it got very overwhelming. That's why like I stuck to charter schools.
Yeah,
so,
no, I definitely had a better experience in charter schools and smaller classes.
But I mean, damn though, that's a
yeah. So yeah, cause like I'd say like my main group of friends were more like the troublemakers a little bit, but I was like, I don't know, I was like probably the like goodest kid of that group, and so I was like one of the balancing ones to like the more extreme ones, you know.
So you're like the Boy Scout in a sense.
Of the bad kids, yeah. But I'm like, okay, like that was cool to like break that, but maybe we shouldn't steal that. Like, there's a line, you guys.
Yes,
you know?
we can break shit, but we can't take it.
Yeah, and so. Yeah, so like I had like that was probably my main group, and then I was also in like sports and in music and like everything, because you could like being in a small town too, you could just try anything and like, get into it because there's not competition. And so like I kind of hung out with each group to a certain degree too.
Yeah, nice. I definitely did that. Like, but I'm finding that like most of the people that we've had are like that. Like Dan and Jim are both like. Yeah, I kind of hung out with everyone. It's like, yeah, I did too, but I mostly hung out with everyone because I sold drugs. But it's like, I wasn't selling drugs to the Asian kids. I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh with them in the lunchroom.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know. And some of the girls I was in fashion club with. Like, I did a lot of things. I hung out with everyone because I had a lot of different interests.
I don't know. My school, we didn't really have cliques. But, I mean, I had my own set of friends, and we were kind of like the misfits, in a way, where, where we have a decent amount of talent, but no one really knows what to do with us, so we all just kind of, like, congregated together, at times.
Yeah, my group of friends was kind of like that, because it was like, because most of my friends hung out, I met, like, my main core group, who I hung out with outside school, we're from the Smokers Corner. And so, we all smoked cigarettes together, we all hung out together.
Well, I mean, we did have seniors that smoked cigarettes in between classes, and the teachers would too. That was the funny thing, because our campus was all of downtown St. Paul. So, like, we would walk from the Landmark Center to, like, the History Theater, or the Science Museum, Wilkins Auditorium, stuff like that. And so, yeah, I mean, I loved it, but then they actually now moved all of it in the Lowry, which kind of sucked. It was kind of cool to go to school in a castle. I can say that. Well, Landmark Center looks like a castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So,
what's the last thing you watched on TV?
Yes. I think you should get your check on this. Something in the oven. Yeah, what was the last thing you watched on TV?
Let's see. Well, the last few days, I've been watching racing stuff because we watched Ford versus Ferrari, and then like the Netflix all the Netflix stuff just started recommending like random race car driver like documentaries from the past, and I was like, okay, I'll check that out.
That's cool.
I guess I just watched the Hollywood one. Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with the one that's written by
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, that's Quentin. That's his newest movie.
That's his newest movie.
That's a good movie.
I have mixed feelings about him still, unfortunately.
I as well have mixed feelings, but it's mostly around the N-word. It's like he uses the N-word too much in his movies, and even if it's, I don't care if it's Samuel Jackson saying it or him, he uses the N-word too much.
Yeah.
For me, it's more than just that. At times, it's like just the whole like Weinstein thing that happened, and he basically was like, "Yeah, I knew it was going on," and in my head, I just can't help but be like, "You're such a fucker," because
he could have said something. I don't know how much of an impact it would have, but it kills me that because he said nothing, Selma Hayek's career was killed by Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, I mean that's the main thing that just kind of gets me. But I still love his movies, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood looked really awesome, and I loved the whole thing of like, because he always likes to do like big events and stuff, or like big moments in history with a lot of his things. So it's like,
I mean, I enjoy his speculative fiction.
Yeah, I mean, like, because like I liked Inglourious Basterds and like the whole thing with that, and like his take on World War II, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like at the same time, though, I'm just kind of like, I don't like it. Just feels uncomfortable if I were to like watch it. I don't know.
Yeah, Midge has been rewatching Better Call Saul. Not Better Call Saul, but she's watching Breaking Bad, so I've been rewatching it with her. Because she started watching Better Call Saul, I was like, this is a prequel to this other show. She's like, okay, so she stopped watching the episode and went. I don't know, my mom, she likes watching Netflix and staying in bed on the weekends. It's like, she deserves it.
Yeah, who doesn't like staying and watching Netflix?
Yeah.
I mean, Netflix is always fun.
Yeah.
Netflix and chill is there for a reason.
Yeah. So how'd you get into music?
I guess it's always been part of my life. So like, my dad's family is all like musical and stuff. And
yeah, you said you played the violin.
Yeah. So that was my first instrument then in like 3rd grade. But yeah, my mom too, her major was in music education. And so like, yeah, they were both super into music and would have us do stuff all the time. Yeah.
No, that's dope. I wish my family was more musical.
My family's decently musical, but like my dad always pursued theater over guitar, and like he never really wanted to join a band. But I always grew up like with him playing folk music, really into like the Peter Paul Mary, Beatles,
and I feel
all that era of stuff.
I feel like your dad would have been a better musician. I think he could have been a really good musician if he had focused on it.
Yeah.
My father's a complicated man.
Aren't we all?
But
no one's black and white.
Is there like a period of music that inspires your music from time to time that you like look back at?
Oh man. Like, I don't know, probably like the typical like late 60s is always like probably where like a lot of musical interest started from, and where it's like an easy place to go to if you're just frustrated to follow other music and you're like, I don't know what to listen to right now. It's like you can just like start again with like Led Zeppelin and Beatles, and then like just start going out finding weird music again.
Yeah.
So you get uncomfortable and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna listen to the Beatles again for sure.
Yeah, I definitely love the Beatles. Just like, I think it was like maybe 4th or 5th grade. My aunt gave me the Beatles anthology.
Yeah,
so
that
it's
stuff's
like
really good.
6 CDs of the Beatles, and it was just, that was my introduction to them outside of pop culture. And I learned so much, and I had an understanding and knowledge that a lot of my peers didn't.
Yeah.
I grew up with it. My parents have all the records. My dad has everything Beatles-themed paraphernalia. Even a Monopoly game based on the Beatles.
He doesn't have the Love album.
He has a Love album.
That's pretty good, yeah.
He's got it.
He has the Love album. Oh no, he has it. He even got the movie yesterday. about the guy who like lives in a world that no one knows the Beatles somehow.
I haven't watched that yet.
It's super good, actually. Yeah. I watched it, and my dad's like, "Yeah, I really like the movie." No, believe me, my dad has everything Beatles.
Okay.
Like, you don't challenge a man on the Beatles like my dad. He knows.
I'm not. Look, the Beatles appropriated black culture.
Yes, I'm not saying they didn't.
I'm reappropriating that culture.
Oh, man. But, no, the Beatles is always... I love Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I think that's my favorite album. Their acid rock album's by far the best.
Well, Lucy in the Sky is, like, the greatest song of that period.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there might be some other songs, like, there might be some Cream and some Led Zeppelin you could say were better, but the Beatles are the most memorable.
Yes. What about you? Like, what would you say is, like, your favorite Beatles, like, song or album?
Oh, man. First song that came to mind was Hey Bulldog.
That's a good one.
Cool song. But it's probably not, like, the deepest song, but just kind of, like, raw sound. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. Like, the anthology stuff is super cool. Like, how they have different takes too, so you can see like how they built it up and stuff.
Yeah,
or, like,
I love the progression of their songs. I love to see that kind of work.
Yeah.
To hear that kind of work.
Yeah. Otherwise, like, I also was super into like John Lennon in the last year too, because like I've always been more of a music person than a word person.
Yeah.
And so like I never got into his solo stuff or anything until like this last year. I've been like trying to get a little bit into songwriting and like lyrics and stuff, and then like as soon as I started trying to think about lyrics, like I got super into his music.
Oh yeah, my dad has a Lost Audios album of like, I guess Yoko Ono got like all of this like stuff that he recorded, like, and he never put on anything. So there's this really cool song where he talks about like going cold turkey off of heroin.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh, that's actually pretty real, because he actually sounds like he's very much in pain, and just him kind of like riffing and being like, fuck, it just hurts going cold turkey. And
yeah, I mean, I don't wish withdrawal on anyone because I've seen people going through withdrawal, and it's like, it's nothing nice. It's painful, and it hurts you to hear them hurting.
Yeah, that's not fun, but it was like a really cool like take on some of his more private moments. And my dad was like he loved his solo stuff. He liked John Lennon. Oh my god! Elton John's completely different, but still a good musician.
I don't know, it's like every once in a while the Piano Man comes on Pandora or something, I don't turn it off.
That's Billy Joel.
Oh, well, whatever. I could have swore he did a cover.
Probably. I wouldn't put it past him.
What'd you guys think of the Elton John movie then? Did you see that?
I have yet to see it. Is
no,
it good?
I haven't seen it either.
It was pretty cool. Yeah. I don't know. It was like, it's pretty theatery, and so like I thought it was gonna be more like, not like documentary-ish, you know, or something, but they had like all this like song and dance stuff come out of nowhere that I wasn't expecting, so that threw me off.
Yeah, no,
but otherwise it's good.
I heard good things about it, but I heard also in Russia they like heavily edited out the gay parts.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Because he's gay.
That's Russia. That's Russia to a heartbeat. It's like, we had the last Olympics there, and people were covertly doing the rainbow flags by everyone wearing a different color shirt, and then just standing in a group and walking that way and be like, we're the pride flag. They can't arrest us for wearing this colored shirt.
Yeah.
So some of the protests out of that were hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's interesting just how countries will deal with certain topics. But like, I'm just like, really Russia? Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, not that Russia can really do anything about it, but fuck Russia. I don't know. Last election, all the Russian hacking and shit is like, Google gives me alerts, and I got like 17 alerts in 1 month from Google about attempted Russian hacking.
Yeah.
Like, it is so dumb.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, especially with how like our Congress is dealing with it. That's the main thing that gets me, you know? Do you ever get inspired by like political events? Do you have any music that's influenced by certain like
I get fired up about stuff, I guess, but like I don't know, I haven't made anything like directly political, I guess. Like I don't know, I've tried writing stuff a few times and it was just like garbage and it wasn't as good as like other protest stuff that other people were making, so I was like, it's not good. But like I don't know, probably the thing that like irritates me the most or that I usually get like fired up the most about is like the deportation stuff.
Oh
like,
yeah.
All the like anti-Mexico stuff. That like pisses me off the most because I had a super good friend from Mexico as a kid and just like seeing his life and like
it really hurts when like I know in Oregon there was a lot of like before I left I had to like chase out some ICE people that were like waiting nearby like apartments.
It's crazy, yeah.
And it's like, are you kidding me? Like you're not even allowed to be here. There's no point. I mean, they get pissed when I comment on their shit, but I mean, like, just go. There's no reason for you to be here. You know? So it's kind of like, it's a thing.
Yeah, this whole administration has been a shit show.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
And the thing is, and I hate that I'm right. I hate when I'm pathetic, because when this election happened, when they announced it, I was like, a lot of people are going to go to prison by the end of this. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs by the end of this. And I've been right every step of the way. And I hate that I'm right.
Yeah.
It's just been so ridiculous, you know?
I'd rather be that cynical asshole who's wrong. But I'm not.
And then, like, it hasn't even, like, amounted to, like, him being taken out of office yet, even though, like, it's so crazy.
No.
And now he's, like, and now we're going, if he gets elected again, I don't even know, man.
I mean, I don't know if he gets elected again, I'll probably be, like, screaming into the void as loud as I can.
Well, I think if he gets reelected, I'm living up on my threat to move to Canada.
Probably a good idea. It's
especially because cannabis is legal and I could actually get immigration status as a skilled laborer.
That is true. You could definitely do that. I have family in Canada, and I was like, I remember I had asked them recently, I was like, can you sponsor me so I can, like, get in? And they're like, we'll look into it, like, we'll see. Like, I don't want you to have to deal with Trump, but I'm like, it'd be nice to have free healthcare too while I'm at it, so.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the main thing, it's just like, I just want, like, you know, good healthcare, pretty much, and not have laws be stupid. Especially when dealing with, and then, like, having, like, the weird thing how they're dealing with Iran.
Yep.
That's the thing that gets me, is, like, the whole Iran shit. And, like, now they're trying to get his powers, like, taken, but then he keeps mentioning Article 2, which doesn't even give him full... Ugh.
He doesn't know anything.
He doesn't.
And the thing is, because way back when he, like, season 2 of The Apprentice, I knew it. I said, like, he's not a good businessman. He doesn't do his due diligence on deals, because he had already had some faulty casino shit fall through. Mm-hmm. He's had 2 casinos get bankrupted. It's like, how do you bankrupt a casino?
Yeah.
Other than you're doing something shady, you're not paying the mob, you're getting robbed by the mob, you're paying the mob too much, you're letting the mob run your casino. It's something. It's just, there's always been this, like, orange stink to him.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a big fan of him. Anyway, we just kind of went on a weird political tangent.
Yes, well, that's what this, like, whole election and, not election, but presidency has done to us. It's opened up a lot of people's eyes, and for people's eyes who have been open, they're just pissed because this shit happened.
I don't know. I just feel like there's nothing that's a lot of people can't walk back on what they're saying nowadays. You know, that's the thing that gets me. It's like, how are we gonna survive this next election cycle when people have said the most horrendous shit.
Yeah.
How can you get back to that relationship with that person that you've had a professional relationship with, but yet on their Facebook they're like, pro KKK, pro all this other, like, really, like, bad stuff, and it's like, oh my god, like...
No, this presidency has definitely exposed a lot of people's darker inside shit.
Yes.
A lot of people have, like, secrets.
It's crazy, yeah.
I mean, yeah, and I don't know, it's always interesting to see, like, and that's why I usually ask, like, if people ever are affected by politics, because it's like, there are some musicians that are, but then, you know, similar to, like, what you said, it's like, people already do a lot of it, so it's just kind of like, you just have to give your perspective at you know, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, and then, like, where do you see yourself in, like, 5 years, like, with the music? Like, do you see yourself, like, going to certain avenues and, like, producing full-on albums? Or, you know, since you do a lot of concept stuff, do you want to do more of the, like, Pokemon, sort of like D&D, like, you know, sort of, like, fan projects in a way? Like...
I'm not sure I'm gonna be in 5 years at the moment. I'm mostly just, like, trying to open as many doors as possible and just kind of letting things happen through, like, working with other people versus just, like, having a direction of myself, you know? Because, like, especially, like, I don't know, just building something bigger, like building more of a fan base or something like that. Like, it's better when you keep, like, working with other people than just, like, purely, like, thinking as, like, yourself or just about yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So...
Are you hoping to do more collaborations then with other artists, or, like, get more of, like, I know you're probably more, like, someone who does more his composing by himself, but would you ever consider, like, forming something of a band for future stuff, or...
Yeah, it'd be fun to join a band sometime. It'd be hard to balance that and, like, making my own music maybe, so, like, I don't know, but possibly. I play in my church band right now.
Oh, cool.
So there's that. But yeah, I don't know if I'd make a band necessarily, but yeah, it'd be interesting to do, like, collaborations or, like, to take somebody's track from their album and be, like, one of those people who has, like, a remix track at the end of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, doing stuff like that I think would be cool, and, like, being able to have your own expression but still, like, working with other people.
Yeah, so a collaboration from maybe just one project.
Yeah, just, like, small things here and there.
That's cool.
That's doable, because lots of people do that, like...
Yeah.
And not only that, like, that could definitely, like, as you say, you want to open more doors. That definitely opens a lot of doors. That's a really good idea, just to, like, keep it to, like, certain projects, and that's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like if I do collaborate with someone musically, I just an MC and a drummer. Like,
that'd be cool.
And it's funny because I listen or watch so much punk rock PhD on YouTube, and it's funny because all the kids who 10, 15 years ago, like when I was a kid and shit, who formed punk bands now have access to technology, and they're becoming SoundCloud rappers. It's like most of those kids who are SoundCloud rappers would have been punk kids. But now you've got the DIY spirit of punk music and accessibility of technology. Now, like, everyone's a SoundCloud rapper.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, like, there's a lot of people that are trying to, like, really cash in on the internet as a whole. But I always love, like, the amount of creativity that comes from it. So, because that's what's great about the internet, is that it's an equalizer that you can choose between the good people versus the people that are just obviously doing it just to... as, like, a cash grab, you know?
Yeah, I think it helps. I think there's more people listening to more types of things, but I'm just still surprised by the number of people who still just go to, like, Taylor Swift or something like that, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, yeah.
And I'm not going to hate on Taylor Swift too much, but there is a time and a place for Taylor.
That's true. And
she has her place. It's just, I don't want to hear her 50% of the time.
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes they just really overplay her.
Yeah. And I'm more akin to, like, her older shit when she was still country.
I don't know. I just at times, like, I feel like they've kind of they typecast her once she hit more poppy stuff. So now she's kind of known as this specific genre of music in a sense.
Well, she switched over to pop music, yes, but she is a colossal flaming bitch, and it's like one of my favorite country ladies who beat her in the Grammys in like 2008 or 9 for best country artist. Is like Casey Musgraves.
Yeah.
So, like, she wrote her song "Step Off" about, and that song is about her. And it's like there's a line like when you climb up to the top, step off.
Yeah.
Like, and because she's kind of a colossal bitch.
I mean, you kind of have to be.
Well, yeah.
If you're that big. I mean, that's the thing that gets me when people are like, because if she was a guy, they'd be like, oh, he's just very determined and driven.
No, I still say he was a dick.
I mean, but then like people see dicks as like, oh, that's just how guys are if they're that successful. Whereas like, yeah, she's so successful, but she's such a total bitch.
Yeah.
Like, as a way to like add to this.
I feel your argument. I see it valid.
To like say like if successful women are always going to be unhappy. And I think she's happy. I think she's plenty happy. Yeah. I just think at times, like, we don't need to hear about every single breakup. I'm sorry. Like,
yep.
True.
It just gets to this point where it's like, how are men still dating her when they know they'll end up on an album? Like, especially if they want to be private about it. Like, no one wants to hear their dirty laundry airing out. You know?
Yeah. And like you said, too, like, it's not, the better way to phrase it is, like, there's a time and place for everything, but just the amount that people are of, like, listening to those types of things. Yeah.
It's like don't get me wrong,
subjects.
There are certain songs where I'm like, oh yeah, this isn't bad and I like it, but other times I'm like, wait, I have to hear it again. This is like the 15th time, and it's in a commercial.
And it's like, it's really bad with pop music, too, because, like, if you think of like a top 10, like there's probably like 2 songs or like 1 or 2 songs in that top 10 that are actually decent, and then the other 9 are garbage.
Yeah.
But like you won't even know that one because you like can't even stand listening to pop music at all anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I feel bad for indie pop, because there are some good like indie artists that like take pop into like a really cool element, and then you're like, where were you?
Yeah, but it's crazy because the thing now is sometimes you hear a song and you just know it's manufactured for a car commercial.
Yeah.
It's manufactured for athletic gear. It's like, because there's this song I heard, and I think it was Wiz Khalifa. But it's some new song, and it was an ad on YouTube. And right there's your first red flag. It's being played as an ad. Yeah. But it was featuring this Asian chick, and I just like, this is a dope song, but this is so for a commercial.
So do you know when the Pokemon concept album that you talked about, do you know when that's going to be coming out like a date at all, or is it still like a work in progress?
It's a work in progress, so like I'd say maybe end of spring, like May, June.
Well, please let us like know about. We'd love to like play a bit for our podcast.
Yeah,
let the listeners listen to it.
Promote it under the local artist stuff.
Yeah. And we really appreciate you guys listening in. And just to let you guys know, Betty Apollo, which is going to be FAP After Dark podcast, is premiering this Saturday. It's going to be on Pornhub, so we will be posting links on our Twitters and Instagram.
Twitter, Instagram, and our Patreon. So Patreon.
Please be on the lookout. And then Commander
Nights at Steamship Cafe in Uptown, formerly Universe Games, is moving from Monday nights to Sundays. It's still going to be at 5 p.m., but please come by and join you. I should be there.
And if you're feeling generous, please donate to our Patreon. And we will put all the links of Peter Lonnquist's awesome music in the description below as well. So please feel free to take a look and listen how awesome he is. But thanks for listening in. I'm Aria.
I'm Mizu.
I'm Peter.
And see you guys later.